news from nowhere. The more news from nowhere. What can I say?
Well, another edition of More News from Nowhere. And hello, Paul, again.
Hello, Johnny. How's you?
Hello. Yeah. So, what have you seen then? What's in the news that's perked your buds?
Well, what's been piquing my interest? Well, first of all, that's a big shout out to Leap Project. They had a bit of an interview with me yesterday, and thoroughly enjoyed it. It was about an hour and a half with them. So big shout out to them. And here's a link below to see those videos. Okay.
Excellent. Because that was a live interview at the time, wasn't it? And then, but is it up now? I don't know if it's up now. It's up now. Brilliant.
And it's on. Yeah, so it's on YouTube, and there's like two videos of that. The third video, it goes a bit more into other things that can't be on YouTube.
Oh.
So go on to Leap Project. You'll probably see that very, very soon as well. That third video.
Right. Excellent. That's it. Look forward to that, Paul. Your little stint on the Leak Project. Brilliant.
Yeah. So in regards to like news-wise, though, So my first one I wanted to have a chat with you about was 5 countries have been basically stopping the little prick of AstraZeneca because blood clots have been appearing on many people.
Wow. Has this been reported in mainstream news, or has this been just in the alternative media? Has it come through a bit on the mainstream?
Well, it's been on Yahoo News, but
I think where I've seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, on like things like BBC and stuff like that, no, they don't really promote negative.
No, I'll say the bits I've seen. It's these blood clots. It's caused a lot of deaths as well, hasn't it? It's more. This is more little prick deaths that we're seeing more of. It's accumulating, and the mainstream are just not doing what media should be doing, really. And the thing I looked at, I went to look at that article, like on another site to update one. I think it's 8 countries now.
8?
Yeah, I think Denmark has added to it, and another one. So, that's quite positive, really. That countries are making a stand. That's a good way to go, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And talking about the little prick, have you heard about a lady called? It's basically it's called the Caesar Awards. It's number 46th Caesar Award, and there's a lady called Karine Mazzaro, and she basically did a speech where she started to strip naked. And she's saying that basically culture's dead and there's no future. So she's basically getting a point across by stripping naked.
Well, it must make a point then,
It seems to be, doesn't it? I think I'm right. That's it. I'm going to go for it.
Wait, Paul. No, we don't. No, wait. We don't need to see you naked, Paul. It's all right. I mean, mainly because it's been done. It's been done. Maybe take a sock off or something, or
I take my thong off.
What again?
I think use it as a mask.
Yeah. But that's quite a thing to do, isn't it? Really, I know these artist people, they're quite upfront about these things. They'll be very, that I think they use image, don't they, as to get their message across. And I suppose being naked is, it's a way to do it, isn't it? It gets the attention. I suppose.
I think it's been done. Yeah, I'll keep my clothes on. Don't worry. Yeah, we don't have to lose subscribers, do we? So yeah. Right then. So and we've also heard about Texas. Texas has been lifting the restrictions fully. There's no masks and no social distancing.
Wow, I've heard Cyprus is doing the same. I think they're allowing. I don't know if it's the whole country of Cyprus, because I need to check this a bit more. Maybe update this maybe next time. But overseas, anyone coming in overseas, there's nothing, no COVID restrictions coming into the country, no passports, no vaccination things or tests or anything. So I'm going to look at that a bit closer and get back on that one. But I mean, we're seeing people and organisations that making a stand, aren't they? Because I mean, business comes first, don't they? And they're seeing there's a bit of a backlash now. People are, not too sure about this little prick, and I'm really hopeful that that the information will start to come through, and because I don't know if it's just what we're reading and people, in this where we are reading it, but we're seeing this now more and more. We're seeing this backlash now of people refusing it and companies refusing it, and so we just need the rest of the world to see that more and understand that more.
The thing is, I mean, there's a bit of a culture going on, especially in like social medias, where they're saying people are saying that I've had it, and they're saying, and then everyone's saying like, oh great, and which one have you had? It just seems to be like a culture of like, which one have you had?
Yeah.
I don't get that. Do you?
No, not at all. I think that's being pushed by. We're seeing a lot of celebs, aren't we now, filming themselves and photographing themselves having the little prick.
Yeah.
It's like they're like pushing that. I mean, recently I saw Ricky Gervais. I thought he was a bit more, I don't know, with it. I don't know, a bit more, but yeah,
and also the Dalai Lama. I saw. And now people are saying other things about what the Dalai Lama's about. So I'm thinking like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but this is what they're pushing. That it seems like they're desperate to keep the the little prick, the attention of it rolling. They want as many people to take it,
Yeah.
But I mean, I know. Apparently the human trial period of the little prick, it doesn't run out till. Well, they're saying it's going to take till 2023, so we're still in the human trial period.
Wow!
And yet we're still rolling, and that's still rolling it out. I mean, the fact checkers, they must be like sore fingers because there's so many stuff coming up. They're trying to like, oh god, we've got to try and pander this down.
I know.
I think they're losing the battle a bit now. There's too much, And I look at the fact checking, and it's almost like an excuse rather than an evidential kind of rebuffal of it. It's just like saying anything.
Exactly.
Honest. It's almost like saying that. It's like, God.
Yeah. It's quite funny because a friend of a friend kind of thing was basically just did a general comment saying that got a headache.
Yeah.
And then because obviously they had the little prick, and then saying like, and then it's just a general comment. It wasn't saying anything bad. It's just like, still got the headache and all this kind of thing. And then there's a little on the Facebook thing saying like, fact check, all vaccines have been tested thoroughly, yada yada yada. You're thinking like, oh my goodness, they even just general comments,
Yeah, I mean, there's people are just going to fact checking to almost. Like that stops them researching anymore. It's like, oh, well, fact checkers say this, so it must be true. They're on our side, aren't they?
Exactly.
It's just, I don't know, it's crazy, really.
Yeah. Have you heard about Gert van den Bosch?
Rings a bell, but fill us in, Paul. Fill us in.
Yeah. Well, he's like a designer. I think that's one of his qualities is that he's a designer of the little pricks. And so basically, he's saying that it is a good weapon for certain things, but then he's saying though that this little prick is actually not designed very well for this issue that we're facing.
It raises the point that I've always been saying is that we haven't spent enough time understanding how the virus impacts the body and understanding how the pandemic then will impact the world. We've spent all of our time just going for solutions. Has that been a mistake?
Of course, this has been the most important mistake, I think. I'm not sure many people, and I was part of them. I was just explaining, we don't understand our weapon because we don't understand that prophylactic vaccines should not be used in the midst of an epidemic. And we don't understand exactly what the virus is doing. So we go to a war and we don't know our enemy. We don't understand the strategy of our enemy, and we don't know how our weapon works. I mean, how is that going to go? So that is a fundamental problem to begin with.
I understand, and I completely accept that. But at the same time, I am still thinking that if the governments don't respond in some way, because they have to be seen to be doing something, they seem to be in a lose-lose situation. If they don't do anything, they're going to be criticized, and if they do something, they're going to be criticized. Is that a fair statement to make?
I don't think so. What was this oath of, what's the name of the guy? Hippocrates?
Mm-hmm.
You know the oath?
The first do no harm.
Okay. Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter if you start vaccinating people and even it doesn't work. Problem is that we induce a long-lived antibody response. And as a matter of fact, we know, I mean, that is not my knowledge, it's all published. Problem is that we fail to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Fact is that these long-lived antibodies, which have high specificity, of course, for the virus, they outcompete our natural antibodies. Because they're natural antibodies, they have a very broad spectrum, but they have low affinity, right? And so by doing this, even if your antibodies don't work anymore because there is resistance or, you know, the strains are too different from the original strain, this antibody, specific antibody, will still continue to outcompete your natural antibodies. And that is a huge problem because I was saying just a few minutes ago, these natural antibodies, they provide you with broad protection. This protection is, yes, it is variant non-specific. Doesn't matter what variant you get. It doesn't even matter what type of coronavirus is coming in. They will protect you. Unless, of course, you suppress this level of innate immunity, or it is, for example, outcompeted by long-lived specific antibodies. And so it's not like, okay, you know, you missed it. Okay, let's try again. No, you did some harm. I mean, this is different from drugs. Immunizing somebody is installing a new software on your computer. Don't forget, I mean, these antibodies, they will be recalled every single time you're encountering a coronavirus, right? I mean, you cannot just erase this.
Oh, wow. It's even more stuff coming out, you know.
Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? But I mean, something that I think we touched on before with Andrew Johnson, I think he actually put it on his Facebook page as well, about their overall deaths, looking at the overall deaths. And he compared, I mean, the thing I saw, the article I saw, it compared 1979 overall deaths, which was, I think, 598,000, with a population of about, 56 million or something like that. And then 2020, the overall deaths is just over 608, with a population of about 67 million. And when you divide the total deaths by population, 2020 was only the 20th worst year for death since 1991. And yet we've been told that, throughout 2020 there was this pandemic and all these people died. When you look at the figures of the deaths doesn't match up. At all. And it's it's just another way to show the corruption, the lies. It's using official stats. It's the ONS stats. This is their own official stats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally, if people just took the time a little bit just to do a little bit more research rather than just looking at what they're being fed, it might just help a lot more people to realise what's really going on.
I think the problem with some people is they'll research, but they'll still research within the remit of established kind of authoritative information. They won't really go, because a lot of people have this perception that you go outside official kind of sources, then it becomes unreliable. Well, it's the other way around. If anything, this is the kind of like what we're facing with. Everything we look at is like the opposite way around. I mean, and this is the same case here. It's like people have been almost taught, oh, it's not official, then it must be dodgy. It can't be true. I'll believe these people here. It's just it. Oh, I don't know. Unreliable sources for them means it's not established sources.
Exactly.
And that's the problem for
Yeah,
me. That's
I
the
think
problem.
at the end of the day, it's the matter of like then trust, isn't it?
Yeah.
They have to feel like they can be able to like trust, and then
Mm,
if that trust goes, then what?
mm.
It's a huge mind breaker, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this is it. We can sometimes you can even use official sources like one with the ONS figures here to show, even
Yeah.
to against them, and still people are picking this up. It's still people would rather make excuses for it. It's just you bang it against the wall sometimes. But
Absolutely. Yeah. So really, we can't do a naked protest. So what can we do then, Johnny?
Well, I mean, to end this end this little clip, I think we should do something. Make our own protest. So we can't do naked one. A
No.
music one. I can go and get my guitar. Wait there.
Um, has he gone? Has he gone? Yeah. Okay. Shh, shh. Let's turn it off, shall we? Finish it here. Okay.
No news, no way.